comeback this city has made. The River Stadium just across the river. First quarter statistics. Steelers have -11 yards passing. A couple of big plays by Haley. Stuck them backwards in the minus area.
Right, and they only have, totally, they only have 8 yards. Here to 4th down now, and I think this is the thing now. We're going to see more and more of this around this 40-yard line area. Teams going for it on 4th down.
Well, we saw the Steelers try it. That's Novacek in motion. Emmett Smith. First. Now that's the kind of play you run on 4th and short.
Well, yeah, what they did is you're going to see Nate Newton here. You're always going to get a lead. Here goes your motion guy. Now Big Nate's going to come and lead. And when you get a big 330-pound guy leading you, and you only need a yard, you ought to be able to get behind him right there and find enough to get you a first down. Big Nate, he can get that stuff going out there, and then he can get it turned. And if he does, Emmett's going to get a first down.
He'll get a pancake. That's Emmett.
You know, I think all the great players really don't know exactly what they do. You know, when you say, what do you do? If a guy can explain everything he does, he's probably average. I know that Emmitt Smith was saying that 9 out of 10 times when he runs a ball, he doesn't go where it's supposed to go.
Well, if you have to stop and think about it, you're never going to get it done.
Yeah, and it's always the guys who say, well, I step this step, then I do this, and I do it, you know, and they can't play, but they're good talkers.
Three. 2nd and 8. Aikman outside Irvin. Another Dallas first down.
There's that matchup we were talking about, Rod Woodson on Michael Irvin. I think Michael Irvin would like the ball every play. I mean, I think if you run a few to Emmett and then throw the rest to Michael, and I think that he would be real happy. And again, I think it's about being a competitor. You know, some guys, it's a selfish thing. I don't think it is with him. I think it's just about being a competitor, wanting the ball, wanting to win.
Did you ever see a really good receiver that didn't want the ball on every play?
I've seen some average ones that didn't want it.
That's Emmitt Smith. He's certainly far above average, down to the Steeler 15.
And there's Michael Irvin there, and he's mad at himself there because with a guy like Emmett, you know, it's like Russian roulette. You never know which one he's going to break. So those wide receivers have to block every time. And maybe one more block, that would have been a touchdown. But sometimes you watch Emmitt Smith, and it's just like a man playing with young guys.
And he's a young guy.
Yeah, he is, but he plays at a different level than most young guys.
Flags before they got anything underway. Scott Galbraith was the man in motion.
Before the snap, number 88, offense, 5 yards, first down.
Now, there's no need for that. I mean, he's out here. The ball is going to be run to the inside. He saw Woodson make a little move on him, and he started to move. There's no excuse for that. I mean, that is a poor play. You're outside. They're not running at you. They're running away from you. The last guy that should jump offside are the 2 outside receivers on an inside run.
That's Novacek in motion this time. Aikman rolls it, wheels it to Novacek. Juggled it a minute, and then got possession. Chad Brown made the stop.
The thing with the Cowboys is they just keep eating away at you. You know, with different guys. I mean, it's a pass to Irvin. It's a couple runs to Emmitt Smith. It's a couple passes to Jay Novacek. They haven't even found Harper yet. Look, Jay Novacek has caught 5 passes already. When you ask Troy who his favorite receiver is, so I mean, I know about Michael Irvin, but I think his favorite is really Jay Novacek.
Well, he was saying last night that Novacek, he can throw the ball into an area, and Novacek can make up so much ground and get the ball.
Remember that year that Novacek was holding out? He wasn't in camp, and every night when they put in plays in training camp, Troy Aikman would fax those plays to Jay Novacek.
He may have sent some copies to Joe Namath, too.
Jay Novacek was someplace cutting horses or something. He was on some ranch in Wyoming getting faxes. I would be surprised he even had a fax machine on a ranch. You're cutting horses.
The 25-second clock is not operating correctly, and he has taken this timeout, the official has, Bob McElwee, to notify both benches.
One of the things that happen on opening days, the clocks don't work properly. Always seem to get a lot of big returns, punt blocks, things like that.
Second down. 9 yards needed for a first. And Aikman has to throw it away to avoid the sack.
He was looking at Novacek on that time. Levon Kirkland, number 99, I think is a pretty good inside linebacker. He's the guy that calls the defenses for the Steelers, and he knew that he was looking at Novacek, and he just turned and ran and got right between Troy Aikman and Jay Novacek.
Steelers will go with a couple of extra defensive backs. Cowboys at the Steeler 14-yard line.
The Steelers like to blitz, too.
And here they come. They might have come too soon. They get the ball to Novacek. No play. No play. They did come too soon.
False start.
No false start.
Snap. Number 80. Offense.
Beg your
5
pardon.
yards. Third down.
Against Harper.
That's what it'll do. It was Rod Woodson, again coming there. When they go to their nickel package, he plays on the slot, and a lot of times that's where he blitzes from. In fact, that's why they put him on the slot so that he can either blitz or cover. And he timed that one almost perfectly. In fact, so perfectly that he made Alvin Harper jump.
Both times he's blitzed. He's timed it very well. 3rd and 14. Back near the 20. Draw play to Emmitt Smith. Back to about the 13. Tim McKyer, former 49er, former Falcon, former Detroit Lion.
Of course, after they throw him for a loss, now they're not going to blitz him. They're just going to pass rush. But in doing so, look at that big lane that they give up for the draw. And McKyer has to make that tackle. That was a pretty good tackle, open field tackle by Tim McKyer.
Novacek holds. Bonio is good from 31 yards this time. And the Cowboys lead 6-0. Bonio to kick off, and Woodson back deep this time again for the Steelers. This one short. Woodson at about the 13. That's what that new rule was supposed to do. The Steelers will start off at about their own 42.
Did you see Woodson put that thing in second gear? He had it like in first gear, and then he saw a little opening, and went, boom! He just kicked that thing into another gear. Just watch it. As we see him come up here, we'll see one gear. He kind of has a gear here, then he puts a little more gear, and then right there, he puts it into that other gear. He just saw that hold, and boom, he was going to hit that thing. It looked awfully good to him there for about a second.
1st and 10 from the 42. O'Donnell chased by left. Barry Foster was the intended receiver. O'Donnell threw it away. Big Leon chasing.
And I don't think that the Steelers have really established much so far, but they really haven't established Barry Foster. You can see Emmitt Smith has run for 51 yards already. Barry Foster only for 14. I think if the Steelers are going to be in this game offensively, I think they have to establish and run and keep giving the ball to Barry Foster at some point.
That's what they said they were going to do. This is Foster. Cut down shy of midfield, shy of a first down. James Washington cut his feet out from underneath.
Yeah, because what that does is that calms the defense down. It calms the pass rush down. It brings those defensive backs up, and then you can start your passing. Here they do it off a delay or a draw thing. They get Haley to go to the inside, and Foster just goes right by him.
Third down, about 3. Pitch back to Dwight Stone. Stone is knocked backwards and out of bounds, close to a first down. Maybe, maybe not.
I'll tell you, Darren Woodson was proud of himself on that one. Number 28. Remember, Darren Woodson was a linebacker in college. They made him a safety. And on that one, he hit Dwight Stone just like he was a linebacker. Now watch it when he comes in here, 28, right there. Boom, he knocks him. Well, Dwight Stone goes backward. Look, and then he stands up and starts pointing to him. When you hit a guy and knock him sideways or perpendicular, that's a pretty good explosion.
Larry Brown also helped with the hit on Dwight Stone. Woodson doesn't think he got enough. Doesn't make any difference really what he thinks.
Now remember a couple of years ago when Woodson and Kenny Gant were the nickel backs. That's when the Dallas defense was the best. They'd bring those guys in on long yardage, and they raised all kinds of havoc.
First and 10, Pittsburgh. Foster and John L. Williams behind O'Donnell. Fake to Foster. O'Donnell has Eric Green complete inside the 35, about the 33.
Eric Green's excited. He just got here Wednesday, and he said, okay, finally start getting the ball to me. We'll get some offense going here. He had good protection. Charles Haley was rushing from his right side, and he had good protection from Leon Searcy.
Now, Eric Green is big. He listed at 280. He's bigger.
Yeah, I mean, he's darn near too big for a tight end. I mean, you think most coaches see a guy that big and say, heck, you're a tackle. That'll be defensive holding. That'll be an automatic first down.
Holding, number 26, defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Kevin Smith.
You see here, O'Donnell is really jumping around a lot and moving around a lot and then buying time. And in doing so, you'll see what happens. You see Kevin Smith right there just grabbed his guy. You see him there. He just grabbed a hold of him as he started to go inside.
That's the trick.
Automatic first down. Take to Foster. O'Donnell away from Tolbert. Chased out of bounds by Chad Henning.
And one thing, it seems like either real or imagined, every time O'Donnell goes back to throw, there's someone there that is disrupting him. You know, either like that time was Tolbert, something that's making him bring the ball down and have to scramble with it.
He's feeling, no question about it, he's feeling, as you say, the pressure.
Well, you know, sometimes, I mean, early I think he imagined a couple, because a couple times he spinned out, he spinned and went out, and there was no pressure there. I don't know what he was spinning from.
This time he has time. Incomplete. Ernie Mills, the intended receiver, covered by Woodson.
What's Ernie Mills here? He's going to start on the inside in the slot. He's going to run what we call an out and up. He starts to the sideline, then he goes up the field, and that was a pretty good throw. I mean, it looked like he stopped his feet going. Looks like if he would have just taken another step or two, you see, he stopped running with his feet. If he just keeps those feet going, I mean, it's easy to say up there.
Stop running with your feet.
What's that big old tackle talking about? Stop running with your feet. It looked like he stopped his feet and just put his hands out.
O'Donnell wheels it over to Stone. Stone's got a couple of blockers, but the Cowboy defense, Bill Bates, Larry Brown, converge in a hurry.
Yeah, they're trying to use Stone more like Dave Megan and those types of things where they put him in the backfield. See, they got 4 wide receivers, and then they have Stone right here. And then they got the 4 wide receivers going down. But the thing that's wrong with that is when you have to go to that guy on 3rd and long, you're only going to get a yard or 2. I mean, you like to throw the ball up the field or don't even get in that formation.
Anderson. Royals, the holder, from 41 yards away. He's good, and the Steelers are on the scoreboard. Nothing but field goals at 6-3. Looks like one of your fans we got in the booth here.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one place you'd never find me. You know, if you're ever looking for me.
You're not going to be there?
You might not know where I am, but you'll know where I ain't.
Anderson kicks off. Fine drive kick is going to be mishandled. Now they got to come out of there with it. Kevin Williams. Tell you what, that was a heck of a run to get it back to where he got it. Myron Bell made the stop.
It was
flags on the play. Excuse me, Tom.
No, I was just saying, in the pregame show today, Jimmy Johnson thought that Kevin Williams was going to be one of the big differences in this Dallas Cowboy offense this year. You can see, you know, as a returner, and, you know, on 3rd down, they bring him in as a receiver.
Well, Jimmy drafted him, too.
Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know. I mean, Alvin Harper hasn't caught a pass yet, so you wonder how they're going to find room for Kevin Williams. Like you said, this. I mean, he made some moves right in there. There's the penalty right there, the face mask. And if he gets by that one, the only one left was the kicker, Gary Anderson.
Another penalty, apparently. Bob McElwee wants a little.
I think
conference.
This is what we call multi-penalties.
Ruled by committee.
I remember one time, Pat, I was in this stadium, and they had a play, and
yes,
all the officials got together and talked about it.
And one of them went and got on the phone, didn't he?
Yeah, got on the phone.
Personal foul, 40 on the kicking team with a 15-yard face mask foul. We have a late hit against the other club. That's a double foul after change of possession. By rule, the receivers keep the football at the end of the play. 1st down. The Dallas foul, the personal foul, was against number 91.
Now, the other club is the 2-time defending champion, Super Bowl champion.
And now here's the first part of it. Now, that would have been a 15-yard penalty. But just because they have a 15-yard penalty, then you can't do what happened on top of the flame up there and have another penalty.
This is Emmitt Smith, and he is off and running. Emmitt Smith finally herded out of bounds by Cornell Lake. That's something.
That's the thing about Emmitt Smith. You just keep handing it, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but you know it is going to happen. He got in there behind Derek Kennard. You watch him. He's going to run right in this hole right here. Boom, boom. He gets those blocks, breaks through, makes a great move there, then outruns a couple until Lake gets there.
45-yard gain for Emmitt Smith.
But that was perfect timing. I mean, those blocks and the handoff and his hitting the hole.
They give Emmitt a rest. Well, he didn't run with the ball. He caught the pass from Aikman. 2nd and 9. Right now, let's take you back to Los Angeles to James Brown for an update.
Hey, Pat, Buddy Ryan called the Rams the worst coached team in the league last year. The Rams want to make up for it. Joe Kelly hits Larry Sinters. The mid-air recovery is made by Todd Light, and he makes like lightning. 74 yards worth down the left side, and the Rams go on top by the score of 7-0. Back to Pat.
Here at Three Rivers Stadium, it's 6-3, 2nd and 10. 5:50 left in the first half. Dallas leading. Again, it's Emmitt Smith. Greg Lloyd made the stop this time.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Pat, that Emmitt Smith will get 100 yards or more in this game. We didn't know it would be in the first half, and Emmitt Smith is going to have his 100 yards this first half, if not on this next play that he carries it. Well, in fact, he's there right now.
He is there.
Talking about 100, there he is. I'll tell you, he's probably right now the best player in the league.
Here comes the blitz after Aikman. They picked it up pretty well this time. Outside, caught by Michael Irvin. Gets back to his feet, out of bounds. He was down, they say, back at about the 13 as a result of contact. Dion Figures made the stop.
You know, Emmitt Smith will do everything. I mean, he'll not only run the ball, we know that, but he'll catch the ball, but he'll also block on pass protection. You want to see, he finds, boom, he puts a hit right there. Seals hit Aikman just as he threw that ball. Aikman saw him coming, though, and protected himself. But that's what I've always liked about Emmitt Smith. I mean, he just doesn't carry the ball. You know, I mean, he is a complete running back. You'll carry it, block it, and catch it.
Right now, he gets a little rest. 4.5 minutes left to play before halftime. 6-3 Dallas. Back at Three Rivers Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys trying to make it 3 Super Bowl victories in a row. Lead Pittsburgh 6-3. 4.5 minutes left in the first half. 2 timeouts remain for each team. Dallas ball at the Steeler 18.5-yard line. And off is to Darrell Johnson. Even here, you hear the cries of Moose.
You know, I thought it was about time to turn the Moose loose because Emmitt Smith has his 100 yards, and everyone's been keying on any run on him, and you may as well hand it to the Moose and let him try and break something or just bang it in there and get 3 or 4 yards.
I think maybe break something.
Yeah, that's a stretch, isn't it? Yeah, the Moose doesn't break too many things.
Emmitt Smith to the Steeler 10. Stopped by Levon Kirkland.
That's pretty good block in there. The Moose just comes in on a lead. You get right in there between Nate Newton and Mark Tuinei. That's some big, powerful guys over on that side. And if you just look, they're going to come here. Here's your lead right here, block right here, and just come right in behind your lead. You got the I formation. There's Darrell Johnston on the lead there. Good movement. Everyone goes down, and Emmitt just goes right over the top.
3rd and 2. Emmitt again. Emmitt Smith will have a first down and out of bounds inside the Steeler 5.
But Smith has been running so much his belt came loose. Watch the fullback here, Darrell Johnston. He makes a good decision. See, he was going to cut in there, and then he didn't. He bounced it to the outside, which brought Emmitt Smith to the outside and a first down. Had Johnston taken it inside, Emmitt would have had to take it inside or go outside without a blocker.
And a lot of backs would have cut it inside anyway.
Yeah, and a lot of blockers would have just barreled their head in there stupidly.
1st and goal. No gain for Emmitt this time. Still 6-3, 2:50 left, first half.
Let's just Steeler defensive line now. The closer you get to the goal line, the lower the defensive line has to get. They take on the line. Greg Lloyd does an excellent job at taking on his block here, so there's no bounce out, and that forced Emmitt Smith to have to cut it back inside.
2nd and goal at the 5.
Come on.
Aikman to Emmett Smith again. Cut down at about the 2.5 by LeVon Kirkland again.
Smith brought down by Kirkland and Williams.
You know, if you look at Emmett Smith, he's only been tackled by a defensive lineman twice, linebackers 8 times, secondary 5. So he's gotten by the line just about every time.
Central. 3rd and goal. 2.5 yards they need. Flags, movement, pass knocked down by Gerald Williams.
Ball flopping backwards.
Yeah.
Fast movement. Ball knocked back. See, the Steelers are tough on that 3rd down because they get up in those blitz positions.
Prior to the snap, number 22, offense.
And that's about the 4th time that the Cowboys have jumped. That time it was
5 yards,
Emmett Smith.
3rd down.
And you see what happens. You see when they get up there and they start blitzing, now the back can move, but he can't come towards the line. See, and he starts moving towards the line. Now, if he would have gone up there and set for a second, he could do that. But I think that Emmett saw that he had to pick up a blitz, and he tried to get in position to pick up the blitz before the ball was snapped.
As it was, they wound up with 2 men in motion.
Yeah, that's why had he been able to, he can move up if he sets, then it's not motion, but he can't be moving forward and going in motion.
3rd down. Here comes the blitz again. Aikman for Harper. Incomplete. And a flag on the play. Well, Harper hopes so.
That was Deion Figures covering him. Rod Woodson in there. These guys.
Yep.
Number 21. That's a 1st down on the 1-yard line.
I think Woodson's telling him, you know, if you can't earn it, don't take the cheap ones, but Figures gets him there, and he hit him.
Oh, no question about it.
He hits him before the ball gets there.
Yeah.
That's interference. In fact, he wasn't playing the ball when he hit him. There at the end, it was okay. Now, we know what Emmett Smith did the time before, but watch him block here. I mean, he just takes on. It doesn't make any difference. Linemen, linebackers, whatever. That one was their defensive end, Ray Seals. And that's what happened when you blitz. You know, you come down to the inside, and then the backup to take a defensive lineman.
1st and goal at the 1. No. It's Emmett Smith. Carnell Lake and Kevin Green converge.
They're going to play this one tough. If you just look up here, Carnell Lake is going to come right off that outside 37, and no one is going to block him. Carnell Lake is a strong safety, but in college, he was a linebacker, and he played that one like a linebacker.
They might have lost a little bit. 2nd and goal. Aikman. Johnston. Touchdown. Diving catch by Darrell Johnston.
That was a heck of a catch by Johnston, but a heck of a throw by Troy Aikman because Kevin Green was right in his face. He was throwing to the right, and Kevin Green was right there, and he got it past Kevin Green right out there to Darrell Johnston. If you watch, you'll see Green right here. See, so he not only has to step backwards to avoid that thing, but then he has to find Darrell Johnston and lead him perfectly. I mean, anyone could throw it when you can step into it. When you have to be stepping backwards, getting away from a tackle, and throw it.
Bonio's extra point is good, and the Cowboys lead it 13-3.
Let's look at again what an NFL quarterback has to do. Watch Troy Aikman now. Kevin Green is coming. He has to look, step backwards, and make a throw to make this catch possible. I mean, that's a world championship play right there. I mean, that's what got them to 2 straight world championships. I mean, guys that'll hang in there. You know, I mean, what we were talking about is a lot of guys can stand there and throw the ball in warm-ups and stuff. When you can stand in there and a guy is blitzing you and he's hanging around your neck and throw a touchdown pass like that, and a guy can make a catch
Heck
like
of a
that.
catch.
And he's about the 5th guy you're looking for.
Bonio the kickoff. Woodson deep. Going to field this one at about 19. 14, beg your pardon. Woodson gets 1 block. Let's try something else. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will have highlights from the first week of the 1994 NFL season. That's all coming up on the Dockers halftime. 13-3 the score at Three Rivers Stadium. Steeler ball, 1st and 10 at their own 25. Neil O'Donnell remains the quarterback. A lot of arm problems throughout the year last year. He says he's fine. But the rush is too much. Jim Jeffcoat around the corner.
I think that one was good coverage on that, too, because the Steelers were in that formation where they had their 5 receivers in there with Dwight Stone in the backfield. The Cowboys were in their dime defense. They had perfect coverage.
Cowboys rushing now with Jeffcoat on the right side and Haley on the left, and Jeffcoat might be shaken a bit.
I think if I were the Steelers, you'd just try and get this half over because, you know, 3rd and 20 is a tough one. You don't want to do something stupid here. And you're only down 13-3. You don't want to force anything, and you don't want the Cowboys to get the ball again in good field position.
Incomplete. Intended for Ernie Mills.
Well, they did something. They threw it inside. You can see what they're doing with Jeffcoat there. He just has cramps. And again, I think we're starting to see some fatigue here in this first regular season game. Guys in the preseason, they don't play as much, and then they have to play more. They have to play longer. They have to play at a faster level. And I think it's starting to show a little in this first half. We're really going to see it in the second half.
You can work out all you want to, but until you get under the heat and under the gun like this, it's not the same. Mark Royal's kick is high and short. A Cowboy bounce. The Steelers down at their own 45.
I think the Steelers really fell into a trap there, Pat. I think that, you know, going with the 5 wide receivers, maybe you take one shot at it, but when you don't get it and you just want them not to have the ball again. And I think when they were like 3rd and 20, that they should have just ran the ball, taken some time off the clock, because now the Cowboys are too explosive to give them another shot here.
Kevin Williams saying, get away from it.
Yeah, and you know that anytime that ball hits, it's a live ball. If it hits a Cowboy, then the Steelers can recover it.
See if Aikman goes for a little more scoring. Indeed he does. Michael Irvin from Aikman catches down at about the 7. They will hurry.
Yep, that was the trap that they fell into.
Yep.
They set the trap. The Steelers went into the trap, and then they went to work on him.
38-yard completion. Deion Figures is the defender.
And again, they're looking for that anytime they can find a one-on-one match. I'll guarantee you Troy Aikman's going to look to Michael Irvin. You see him use that right hand. Michael Irvin just got that right hand just to push him off just enough. Lost his towel, but still had that great concentration.
18 seconds remaining. Michael Irvin is a big, strong guy.
And he'll go anywhere, you know, to catch one. I mean, he'll go up and he'll go out and he'll go on those deep ends and those crosses and slants, and he'll catch the ball anywhere it's thrown. Down here now, once you get into this area, I think we're looking for a tight end and fullback.
Tony Dorsett. They had a day for him yesterday at Pitt Stadium, where he played collegiately. Just inducted into the Hall of Fame. Texas beat Pitt.
Of course, that's a big thing for Tony Dorsett, coming back to where he played his college football, and on one hand, and on the other hand, watching his old team, the Dallas Cowboys, that he was so great for so many years.
Cowboys have one timeout remaining. Aikman. Pass is complete to Kelvin Williams. Run out of bounds at about the 3. Timeout, Dallas.
Of all the guys that they'd throw to, you wouldn't expect Kevin Williams down there. You'd expect that they would throw it again to Novacek, and if you're going to, of course, want to try and get it to a wide receiver, I think you would try and get it again to Michael Irvin down here.
8 seconds left in the first half. The Cowboys leading 13-3. Second and goal at the 3. You're so right about the Steelers falling into that trap.
Well, they didn't have field position, and 13-3 wasn't bad, and sometimes it's not bad just to run out the clock, go in and regroup, and only be down at 10. But you can't give an explosive team like the Cowboys this kind of field position. I'm sure Bill Cowers thinks if he had to do it over again, he wouldn't have done it either.
Don't forget, coming up at the half, all the scores and highlights. James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will get you up to date on this the first week of the 1994 NFL season. All coming up on the Dockers halftime. Second and goal from the 3. Aikman retreats. Knocked away. Incomplete. Novacek was the intended receiver. Now they'll settle for a field goal try by Bonio.
I think that everyone knew that he was going to look for Jay Novacek down here, and that Novacek was going to go right to the goal line. That ball looked like it was in his hands up.
Carnell Lake might have deflected it just before it got to his hand. Novacek will hold, just like an extra point. Bonio for his 3rd of the day. Rips it through. That's the end of the half. With the score, Dallas 16, Pittsburgh 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime. Get set for the kickoff. Two man is Kevin Williams and Brock Marion back deep. This is Williams at about the 8. To the 28.
One thing about Emmitt Smith, he'll move the thing, and he'll run left, and he'll run middle, and he'll run right. And if you look, he's only made 3 yards to the left, now 92 yards to the middle, and 15 yards to the right. So he'll go left and right, but most of his yards are in the middle. That's from the inside of the tackles, the inside shoulders of the tackles, the outside shoulders of the guards. Most of his stuff, when it gets to the line of scrimmage, will be breaking through that area.
He broke one big 45-yard run. Back to throw it. Novacek. That's his 6th catch of the day, and that'll be another Cowboy first down. Carnell Lake made the stop.
One thing that the Cowboys did, and it is really quiet this crowd down. Remember early there was, opening day and the Steelers, and everyone was excited. And then Aikman came out, and he's just doing surgery on this team. Emmitt Smith ran the ball, and this is a very, very quiet stadium now.
And they are watching a very talented Cowboy team. Harper is split wide to the left. Irvin is up at the top. This is Emmitt Smith. Smith again hammers straight ahead and gets about 6. Levon Kirkland.
We know what Emmitt Smith did, but the one thing about him, Ernie Zampese offense and a Troy Aikman, is he's going to spread it around. See, he was 5 out of 7 to wide receivers, 6 out of 7 to the tight ends. Of course, the tight ends being Jay Novacek, and 3 out of 5 to the running back. So that's one thing. With Ernie Zampese and the same thing with Troy Aikman, you just can't zero in on a guy or a position.
2nd and 4. Darrell Johnson. Out by the middle of the Steeler defense, got probably a yard.
The old Moose is probably thinking, why is there such a big hole right in here when Emmitt Smith runs it, and when I run it, there's nothing there? I mean, part of it is they blitz and they blow out the left side, and he goes to the right. But you know, sometimes you just wonder maybe he doesn't get there as quickly. Like Nate Newton said before Emmett Smith came, I was just an average guard. Now I'm an all-pro.
No question about that. He doesn't get there as quickly. Aikman flings it out of bounds. A flag on the play.
And that was Rod Woodson again on a blitz, making Aikman throw when he didn't want to, or just throw that away. That's one thing that the Steelers have been able to do, is really disrupt before the ball is snapped.
Number 71 was not up on the line. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
You know, by faking those blitzes, getting up there, they've really disrupted this Dallas offense. What they're talking about is his foot is back here. See, he can go to the waist of the center. He can be on this line, but he can't be back here. They're saying that Mark Tuinei lined up in the backfield. He's just trying to get an advantage on pass protection.
John Jett. Steelers put the rush on Jett. Woodson will handle it. Out of bounds at about the Steelers 37, 38-yard line. That's where they'll have the ball for the first time in the second half. Three River Stadium, Steelers, Cowboys. That's what it's all about. Barry Foster. Not much has happened for Barry.
Well, they haven't established him. They started running earlier, and then they started passing. And look at the pressure Neil O'Donnell's been. There's been sacked 5 times, hurried 7 times, knocked down 3 times, had 1 pass batted, no interception, and he was forced to run or get out of the pocket 6 times. And the guy that started all that was number 94, Charles Haley.
He's on the right side, and Haley, this time, with pressure from elsewhere. Andre Hastings made the catch. Darren Woodson, the defender, they're short of a first down.
Well, Russell Maryland was the guy that gave him the pressure that time. He was looking at Maryland, got right up in his face. You see, Maryland is in a right-handed stance now. He's playing left tackle. He's going to be right here, and he just gets right up in O'Donnell's face where he can't throw the ball where he wants to. You see him get a push. He's getting doubled there. And right there, he stands up, and he takes a swipe at the ball just before O'Donnell threw it.
Russell Maryland is so quick. Not that big, but very quick. They run right at him this time. Chad Henning, who met.
Someone lost their hat.
Leon Searcy.
Hey, he's an impressive guy. We watched him on film, and there's a lot of offensive linemen that play somewhat passively, but Leon Searcy's not one of them.
Duval Love is the injured Steeler lineman. And, of course, Mark Stepnoski. Continues then as Joe Montana goes up against his old teammates, the 49ers, for the first time. O'Donnell chased by Lett. Just fires it to the Cowboy bench.
I tell you have to give credit to Robert Jones on that play, Pat. What they were trying to do is fake a reverse to the right and then throw a screen to the left. And you'll watch Jones. He's going to read it. He sees it all the way. See, the screen is going to come back to the left there. See Jones up on top. Lett puts the pressure on. Jones had the coverage, and O'Donnell just had to throw that one away.
Second down and 10. 4 Steelers from their own 46. O'Donnell gives to Barry Foster. Foster to midfield. Stopped by Tony Tolbert.
The one thing that we were talking about, how the Steelers started out like they had a pretty good plan. They were going to run Barry Foster. They had some flea flickers and some tricks and stuff. Charles Haley disrupted him in that first quarter, and they don't look like offensively they've ever recovered from that disruption.
They go with their 5 receiver setup now, with Whitestone back with O'Donnell out of the spread. Here comes Haley. He spun right out of the block by Searcy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you need. You need a guy like Charles Haley, a guy that'll disrupt. Here he is right here, and the guy just gets back there and makes things happen. You don't know where he's going to go. He goes to the outside, he gets doubled, he spins, and at the end of the spinner, he comes right into the quarterback. I mean, he's always back there. You know, he doesn't get all the sacks all the time, but he's always back there kind of nicking around at you.
Just disrupted. Mark Royal, Kevin Williams signal fair catch at about the 19. Stone down in a hurry. But again, it was Haley that disrupted things.
Really controlled the offense, and that guy right there, Charles Haley, has disrupted this Pittsburgh Steeler offense, and that 5 wide receiver formation has been killing it.
Here's Emmitt Smith was very little available. Greg Lloyd and Darren Perry. Charles Haley, 3 tackles, 3 sacks. That's the most sacks he's had since he came to the Cowboys from the 49ers.
You know, even when he doesn't have sacks, I mean, Charles Haley's the type of guy you don't know where he's going to be. He lines up right, he lines up left. You don't know if he's going to go outside or inside, but he always ends up, you know, kind of right there at the quarterback's feet.
Wherever he is. Aikman to Irvin. Near a first down, not quite. Rod Woodson made the stop. Woodson has followed number 88 just about wherever he's gone all day long.
Yeah, and Michael Irvin is thinking right here, he's going to run a slant. He's going to go down and then to the inside. You see right there, Woodson, he tries to get a jump on it, but Michael Irvin is so strong and he has such good hands that he just took that ball away from Woodson. Woodson played it as well as you could play it.
Don't forget where it was thrown also.
Perfectly.
Emmitt Smith. First down, almost broken.
Yeah, just at the moment you think, well, Emmitt's done his job and he's kind of finished. Boom, he just breaks one through and gets another first down. Like I said, something's bothering him now.
Yeah.
But watch this blocking that he gets in the right side. Eric Williams, Derek Kennard, they just knock their guys back. I mean, the hole is there. You just can't believe that they're going to get something like that.
And Emmitt is down now. He tried to make it to the sidelines and didn't.
Yeah, you could see at the end of the play that he started to walk back to the huddle, and then he bent over and started to go to the sidelines. I don't think it's bad, because when the guys are attending him that are laughing, it can't be very serious. Yeah, he's okay. I mean, he got up and walked off the field because there was nothing there. But when the 3 guys go over to Emmitt Smith and you can see him laughing there, like they're laughing right now, you know that it's not a very serious thing.
Well, to him it's serious.
It's like that. Like, oh, someone's having a little operation. They're having a little surgery. Yeah, but it's not yours. It's little.
Below the waist.
For you, it's an operation. For someone else, it's a little procedure.
Lincoln Coleman has replaced him. Aikman deep for Irvin, incomplete. Woodson with him. Step for step.
These are 2 great players right there. I mean, Rod Woodson is up there, doesn't get a bump. He's just step for step. Like I said, he didn't need any help. He gets a little help there. Those were 2 very good plays by Rod Woodson. I mean, one Michael Irvin caught, but that one was knocked down.
2nd and 10. Smith is back. He's the deep man for the Cowboys. One Steeler misses, and Emmitt Smith hurls the body for close to a first down.
You know, Emmitt Smith can make moves, Pat, where you're not supposed to make moves. I mean, you're not supposed to make moves. You always teach running backs, get to the line of scrimmage, get through the line of scrimmage, then make your moves. Emmitt Smith makes moves sometimes, like on that play, before he even gets to the line of scrimmage.
It's incredible. You look at this 267 to 36. That's how they've dominated. But you talk to the Steelers, as we did yesterday, and to a man. How do you stop Dallas? You got to stop number 22. But yet, you know you got to do it. You just can't get it done.
If it were that easy, he wouldn't have led the league for 3 years in a row.
Darrell Johnston makes the catch from Aikman, first down.
They are cutting the moose loose.
Well, Troy said he was going to do that.
Yeah. Every time we talk to Troy on Saturday night before the game, we always ask him that. He says, yeah, we'll cut the moose loose. Look, they even put him in motion, and then he just runs a little thing back to the inside. I'll tell you one thing about Troy Aikman. He throws passes that are perfect. I mean, he throws them right where the guy can catch. I mean, if you just put your hands up, Troy Aikman puts it there. Puts it in the basket for you.
The throw again. Going deep for Harper. Incomplete. Bounced off Harper. Picked off by Darren Perry. And Perry still on his feet, still running, taken down by Novacek. Close to midfield.
That was a play the Steelers needed. They needed something to get themselves back into the game and then get this crowd back into the game, and this is the play.
It has been so quiet.
I know, you know, since the end of the first half, again, the ball just goes off Harper, and there's Darren Perry right there. He makes a pretty good return here. Missed tackle there. Novacek is going to be the guy that finally gets him right there. Good tackle by Novacek. Novacek's had a pretty good game today.
Yes, he has.
Done a lot of things.
First down, Steelers at their own 49. Eric Queen was the man on the move. The handoff is to Foster. Foster by Woodson.
You know, when you have a guy like Darren Woodson in your secondary, it really helps because he was a guy. You know, both teams have a guy that played linebacker in college. He was a linebacker in college, and he plays safety now, but he still plays and tackles like a linebacker.
Big guy.
And I'll tell you, when you have tackling guys in your secondary, that makes all the difference in the world.
2nd and 5. O'Donnell back to throw it. Throwing deep. And overthrown. Intended for Charles Johnson. Evan Smith, the cover man.
They were talking about Aikman's throws. Even this one that is going to show as an interception is a perfect throw. I mean, that ball was right in there.
Dion Figures was the cover man, and he just got his hand.
And even when Aikman could run and move around, he still throws. That was, as you say, that was good coverage by Dion Figures.
Here's that 5-receiver formation for the Steelers. A fake to Stone. O'Donnell. The collision. Ernie Mills makes the catch, hit by Washington. The catch was painful.
Now, James Washington said it last night. He said the way he throws, he said there's either going to be a lot of interceptions or a lot of collisions. This one isn't an interception, but it's the other one. He said he's been looking forward to that because he thinks that O'Donnell throws to the inside too much, and he throws inside between the numbers. And again, he lets the guy, he throws it a little behind him. So the receiver has to turn, and just as he's turning, there's Washington.
That's a 3-bounce hit. Haley.
See the things that he does. We talk about disruption. Goes to the inside, gets triple team, puts his hand up, just keeps going after the quarterback.
First down, Pittsburgh at the Dallas 35. Cowboys leading 16-3.
Yeah, Ernie Mills did a nice job of holding on to that ball because he had to make quite an adjustment to get into position to catch it.
And exposed himself. Left. That's not a way to say it, is it?
Well, he did to James Washington's collision.
Foster. A couple. In the arms of Dixon Edwards. Tony Tolbert.
That's the thing. I know when I talked to Ron Earhart yesterday, he really wanted to establish Barry Foster and run, kind of spread out the Cowboy defense, then go to play pass for his passing. But He didn't establish the run, so then he couldn't go to the play pass. He ended up in long yardage too much and had to use that 5 wide receiver formation that really didn't pay off for him yet.
Foster in the game at the deep back position has 13 carries for 40 yards. O'Donnell back to throw it. Again, he's chased by Haley. And shuffles out of bounds. Look at Bill Cowher. You could almost read his lips saying, throw the ball.
He's still saying it.
You're a quarterback, throw it.
Watch him. You see him here. He's telling O'Donnell, throw the ball. I tell you always have to watch out as a coach that the quarterback may hand you the ball and say, go show me how.
You throw it. 3rd and 15. Out of the spread. Just barely got rid of it. O'Donnell under pressure again. The Dallas rushers were Chad Hennings and Haley again.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't had any success when they got in this formation as 5 wide receivers because everyone knows it's a pass. He has 3rd and long. Here comes Haley from the left side. He's getting a blitz from straight up the middle from Washington, and it's tough to throw in that situation.
Royals kick. Going to be down just inside the 5 by Craig Keith, where Dallas will take over deep in their own territory.
50-yard line.
That 5 wide receiver formation has just killed this Pittsburgh team, but maybe the 3rd and long is the thing that's killing them, not the formation.
Well, they wouldn't be in that formation. Here's the handoff to Emmitt Smith. Out to the 10.
You know, I think Ernie Zampese was with the Rams, and Norv Turner worked with Ernie Zampese. So Ernie Zampese was kind of the teacher of Norv Turner, and then Norv came to the Dallas Cowboys as offensive coordinator, and then he went on to Washington, and then Ernie came and took Norv's place. So really, in essence, what you have is the teacher here being the offensive coordinator now.
Yes, again. Kevin Green made the stop along with Joel Steed.
It was interesting hearing Jimmy Johnson at halftime saying that anytime any team used anything that was different or they weren't sure what to do, Norv would just give the ball to Emmitt. And I think that maybe Norv will learn that from Ernie, because that's the same thing Ernie's doing here today. If you don't know what to do, if you're back up, everything's back, just hand the ball to Emmitt.
I wonder if he gets it this time. Outside Irvin. Now, is that a good throw? Incomplete. He didn't get down in bounds.
I'll tell you, you talk
Yes,
about the timing and the rhythm. This is all just a timing pass. This is good coverage. But you see what he did. He got to the inside. He brought Woodson back to the inside, partly with his body, partly with his right hand, and then came back to the outside. Now watch the timing here. 1, 2, 3, boom, just throw that thing up, and it ends up perfect on the other end. I'll tell you, that was good separation by Michael Irvin on Woodson. What he did is he did some with his hands, some with his body.
Emmitt. Midfield is Emmitt Smith. Remember, this drive started by Dallas back at their own, inside their 5-yard line. Deion Figures made the stop.
Yep, that was the thing. There's no chance. I mean, Barry Switzer is here now, but it's still the same offense. I remember Norv Turner used to always say, look, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run it to Emmitt and throw it to Michael. And that's what they did. They're coming up again, Emmitt, 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 Michael, Emmitt. And, and that's what you do when you're in trouble.
Smith has 23 carries, 151 yards. Outside to Emmitt Smith. Yeah, he scrambles for a couple this time. Tripped up by Darren Perry.
You don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season, but I think that anyone that had any thoughts that the Cowboys have slipped or that the Cowboys aren't going to be there again, or Barry Switzer can or can't adjust to the NFL, I think you can put a lot of those rumors to bed.
Certainly the team so far has passed whatever test they were supposed to have. This is Smith's backup, Lincoln Coleman.
Well, right now the offensive line has just taken over. I mean, at this point, the Cowboy offensive line has taken over. Watch Nate Newton here. I mean, he is so big and so powerful and so strong. He just gets into his guys. Mark Tuinei gets into his guys. They kick out. The holes are so big that they can put any running back in now, and they're going to get through them.
They just cave things in.
Well, I think when you get big 61 on you and big 71 on you, you're going to cave in. Or how about big 60, Derek Kennard?
That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Dallas 16, Pittsburgh 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your 7 Central.
You know, I don't know what they pay Emmitt Smith, Pat, but I don't think they pay him enough. I think, or whatever they do pay him, he earns. Anyone that says, geez, those football players get paid too much money, they're this, they're that, got to get in that number 22 and do the work that guy does on a Sunday.
There's one guy who agrees with you. That's Emmitt Smith.
And I think there's a lot of guys, anyone who's ever tried to do it probably agrees with me that this man earns his money.
Fake to Emmitt. Aikman. Michael Irvin steps out of bounds at the 13.
You know, and you have to remember, Pat, that this drive, like you said, started, they were coming off their goal line with this thing and just run it to Emmitt and throw it to Michael, and here it is again. What's the intensity here? You just drive up, go to the inside, and again, those passes are just perfect. I mean, he knows, Troy Aikman knows exactly where the receivers are going, and he throws it not where they are, but where they're going.
Perfect.
And they don't even have to break a stride. And he's the hottest quarterback in the game today.
Here's Emmitt Smith at about the 14. Darren Perry made the stop. Oh, you're right. Michael Irvin, 7 catches, 129 yards.
You know, the thing that he does so well is he works so well with Troy, but he uses his body and he uses his hands, and he gets just enough push off with his hands to create position that he can't do with speed because he doesn't have great speed.
And he's been doing it a long time. Nevertheless, almost picked off by Woodson this time.
Oh, Rod Woodson took a jump on that one. He was waiting for that one. That's what a veteran corner does. You're going to catch some, but he's going to get his too. Watch Woodson back here. He's looking into the backfield. He sees the throw. He gets a jump. That's the jump right there. He just didn't catch the ball. That was a perfect read and a perfect jump by Rod Woodson.
Third down. About 9. Picked up behind the line of scrimmage by Greg Lloyd.
They've done a pretty good job of blocking Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green because they're the guys, you know, coming from the outside most of the time, making the tackles on the run. Woodson tries to blitz. Mark Tuinei picks him up. Greg Lloyd just gets just enough of him.
Just got a hand on him.
Well, they were really blitzing for a passing down, and they just ran into a run.
Bonio will try from 32 yards this time with Novacek holding. And he's good again. 4 for 4 for the rookie kicker. 19-3. High and short. Yancey, big man, the return man, to about the 34. Stopped by Matt Vanderbeek. Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Studio produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. First and 10 Steelers. 12:24 left to play. O'Donnell, pass complete. Again, he was under pressure from the Cowboy rush. Pass complete to Barry Foster for only a couple of yards.
Well, that was one thing I think that everyone was talking about, is the defense going to be as good?
Yep.
And, everyone thought that the offense would be. Special teams can be pretty good, although they have a rookie kicker who's come through today. But if they were going to fall down anywhere, it would be on their defense. But their defense has played very well today.
2nd and 7. O'Donnell's pass is off the fingertips of Ernie Mills. Again, pretty good pass rush by the Cowboy defensive front.
Good pass rush and very good coverage. The Cowboys really felt that O'Donnell was going to throw everything inside those numbers, so they're really shrinking down that field and ganging up on the middle of the field. And they know that he's really not a runner, so they're ganging up on that push up the middle, and it's been working for him today.
3rd and 7. Mike Stone back with O'Donnell again. Out of the backfield he comes. The pass is caught by Johnson. Stayed on his feet. Gets the Steeler first down at just about midfield.
To throw the ball in there like that, a guy has to be a tough receiver. That's one thing that I just said the Cowboys were really going to gang up on, is those inside runs. And there was a guy, James Washington, who says we're going to get interceptions or collisions. And again, it was another collision.
Brock Marion had the collision with the receiver that time. 1st and 10 Steelers. Right at midfield. Donald back to throw it. Incomplete. High down the middle again. Intended for Yancey Thigpen.
Well, it's not only the safeties that are getting involved in that middle of the field, it's also the linebackers. That time it was Robert Jones. And again, they're really ganging up or counting on that middle, and they're going to, anyone that comes in that middle, they're really going to tattoo them, and they've been doing it all day.
Robert Jones was the subject of a lot of criticism during the preseason, but he certainly passed his first test, as have the Cowboys. The draw play. Haley goes right by.
Haley doesn't care now, but he scored 19-3. Haley doesn't care about draw plays. He's just going to go get the quarterback. And, the fans are on O'Donnell. They've been booing him now, and they really just don't have much of a passing game. And what's really hurt him is getting in his 3rd and long, being 3rd and long all the time, going to that 5-wide receiver, not being able to get anyone open or be able to get time to throw the ball, and he's just a standing target back there.
3rd and 6. Complete to Charles Johnson. O'Donnell got hit hard again, but Johnson made the catch.
Yeah, and Johnson got hit hard too. That was one of the reasons that they drafted Charles Johnson #1, because not only is he a good receiver, a good return guy, but he's a tough guy. And I think in this Steeler pass offense, you better be a tough receiver, because they make you run tough pass patterns. He was an interesting guy, and
yes, he was.
Story, and
is.
I think someday he's going to be a real good player.
Here's O'Donnell. Caught across the middle by Andre Hastings. Hastings down inside the 15 to about the 12, stopped by Kevin Smith.
Andre Hastings is going to get there in the middle, and we're going to see it's the first time that a receiver gets in the middle that the Cowboys don't have anyone in there. You see, they had one receiver run him deep, so now when Hastings came through there, they had already run the deep guys out, and there was no one sitting in there waiting for him. Maybe that's what they should have been doing, cleaning out before you go to the middle.
Got to have time to do that. The protection was good that time. Here's O'Donnell back to throw. To Green at about the 2. Big Eric Green taken down by Robert Jones.
And the fans who were booing are now cheering. That's an area there, Pat. I think that's standing room only. Those people don't even get a seat. I think they buy what they call a stand, and they just kind of pack them in there. Those have to be the special people. I mean, and it's good to see young people at a game, too. I mean, I think sometimes the crowds have gotten too old because the young people can't buy tickets anymore, but that's kind of refreshing to see them, you know, standing in there and the younger fans at a game.
First down and goal from the 2 for Pittsburgh. Dallas leading 19-3 with 8:39 left.
The poor old Russell Maryland lost half of his 6.
I think it's there.
I don't know where it is. Where'd the bottom of that 6 go?
Tucked in. Here's O'Donnell. He'll take it in himself.
Well, you know, with the 2 points now, all the Steelers need is 2 8s. So they got 1-6. They got to get an 8 here and another 8. So now here they definitely have to go for the 2 points. You're going to see a bootleg. He's going to fake inside, then he's going to roll outside. It should have been an option runner pass. He could have thrown it to Green there, but it was too late, and then he just put it down and ran it in. But the Steelers, in this case, have to go for 2.
No question about it. They've already made that decision and made it quickly. From
Look
2
at this
yards.
formation. What is this formation?
That's bunch left.
No, but it's a bunch of offensive linemen around here. Look, big old guys out here.
Can't throw it to them. They did have a receiver out there. Craig Keith. Dallas takes a timeout to reevaluate.
Yeah, I think when you say your big right tackle, Leon Searcy, run out there, Margie, what the heck is that?
Timeout, Dallas.
Well, they shifted both their tackles out here. Now they're doing it to the right side. Look, they got all those guys. It must be some kind of screen pass to the right.
Here's O'Donnell. The play's over. Pass intercepted by Kevin Smith, but he can't score any points for Dallas.
Well, they probably worked on that the whole training camp.
Yeah.
Now, the linemen, they had to stand out there. They were standing out there for a screen. There was no screen out there. Now, watch these linemen. They have to stand there because they can't go downfield. So they just stand out there as they're going to run their pattern. You see, they have a screen back here. The screen would have been open right there. O'Donnell didn't see it.
That is a fan down. He made some pretty good moves, but ultimately the long arm of the law stopped the first down.
You know, right there, this was the fan here, and we normally don't show this, but it happened right here, and the guy's still in the middle of the field. This was how he ended it. He got the cuffs on him. He's proud of himself.
Yeah, he's getting some attention from the fans too.
Yeah, the only reason that you hate to show that is then all the people think that, you know, oh boy, isn't that funny, and you know what a great thing that is, and it's really stupid. I mean, you know, someone running out, you know, on a field during a football game to get acknowledged and, you know, cheered and that stuff, that's stupid.
In a few hours from now, it won't be funny to anybody.
Now, and I mean, they don't belong in these stadiums.
Steelers kickoff is going to be handled by Kevin Williams. Coverage is good, and Williams is down at about the 27.
You know, the Steelers were probably working all year on that, and all preseason on that 2-point play, and they really had something there, and then it didn't work.
Super Bowl form for this Dallas Cowboy team. Emmitt Smith has 155 yards. Michael Irvin 129 receiving yards. Aikman almost 200 passing yards. Novacek another big day. Smith to about the 30. Right now, let's send you back to James Brown in Los Angeles.
All right, Pat, and speaking of in Los Angeles, it is now a 2-point game between the Cardinals as Steve Berline goes back and finds Larry Sinters. It is now 14-12. The Cardinals missed a two-point conversion late in the third. Back to you, Pat.
At Three Rivers Stadium, 7:40 left to play. Cowboys taking their time getting up to the line of scrimmage. 19-9. Cowboys lead. Pittsburgh blitz. Newton in front of Aikman. Aikman just threw it out of bounds.
I don't think Aikman wants to run too much now. Remember one game was a couple of years ago or last year where he pulled a hamstring when he ran twice in a row. Now that's one thing that he doesn't do and really doesn't have to do and shouldn't do. And I think now, you know, we talked in the first half that the first game of regular season fatigue starts to set in, and I think it has set in for both teams.
Third down and 8. To Michael Irvin, first down. Covered by Deion Figures. But Irvin gets the first.
You know, you wonder how, you know, what you do to stop this combination. I mean, the guy can just catch anything that you throw at or around him, and the guy throwing it can throw it perfectly to him. And the guy that's running can run as well as anyone has ever run. And that big line in front of him is the group that makes it all possible. So you wonder, how do you stop this stuff?
They might be as big as anyone has ever been.
Oh, they're bigger.
First and 10. That's Emmitt Smith. Off again to midfield is Emmitt.
You know, if you just watch the right side of the line, I mean, the job that these guys do, I mean, these are just collapse jobs. I mean, it's not even competition anymore. I mean, watch when a guy like Eric Williams comes in. I mean, they just throw him to the ground. I mean, look at those holes.
Derek Kennard just buried his man.
Yeah, I mean, they're so big. I mean, these guys weigh like 340, 350 pounds. Look at the size of this Kennard. How'd you like to line up behind that?
I never see you. The Moose. Darrell Johnston inside the Steeler 45. Greg Lloyd made the stop. Emmitt Smith, 28 carries, 164 yards. And the clock running with 5:50 left. 19-9 Dallas.
The thing about Emmitt Smith, he doesn't overreact to anything. He acts like he's been there before and had these kind of games before. And when you look at the statistics, you realize that he has had those kind of games before.
Here's Emmitt Smith again to the Steeler 40. Joel Steed made the stop.
No, but a big part of it is Emmitt Smith, and a big part of it is that offensive line, too. I mean, if you just look at those guys in the huddle, you know, as you go down there, you know, from Eric Williams to Derek Kennard to Nate Newton, Mark Tuinei. The only guy in there that's not a real giant is Mark Stepnoski, and Stepnoski's one of the best centers in football.
Yet he's so valuable.
Yeah, but just look at the size of those guys. I mean that Eric Williams is like 340 pounds. Kennard, I mean, you know, just the way they line up across the ball, you know, spreads out the formation.
It is a Cowboy first down.
Now, how'd you like to be at the end of the huddle? Watch, Eric Williams will come in here. He's 79. He gets next to Kennard. There's no room for the guy on the next side of the huddle. There's no place to go.
Well, no one gets there.
Well, the Moose is trying to squeeze in there. It's a wonder the Moose even knows the plays. There's no place. He just kind of sticks his head in there. Those guys don't give him any room in the huddle.
First and 10. Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. Alvin Harper. The low ball bounced out of his hand.
Alvin Harper made a nice move on that to Deion Figures. I mean, he got Figures going, think he was going to go deep, and then he just cut that thing off, and it was one of the passes that Aikman threw today that wasn't a perfect pass.
Here's just the end of it.
Well, that was a pretty good pass when you look at the end of it. Yeah.
Second and 10. Emmett Smith, a yard perhaps. Levon Kirkland made the stop.
They even pull those big guards. You see Kennard there? Number 60, he's helping Emmett Smith up there. Watch him pull. Here he is now. He's cheating back a little. He's kind of showing his pull. He's already halfway there. Here comes big Kennard. There goes Johnston. He's going to lead inside. I think if I saw Kennard coming, I'd duck too, wouldn't you?
Yep. He'll be easy to follow.
And the National Football League is prohibited.
I miss doing that.
An old favorite.
Yeah. Third and 10. Aikman to throw it. Going deep for Harper. And Harper comes down with it.
You know, Troy Aikman told us last night with Alvin Harper, you know, he was a jumper, and he said that he's one guy that he just throws the ball up to because he knows if he gets in a jumping contest, Harper's going to get it. He says he tries to throw everyone else the ball, you know, where they should get it, but to Harper, he said he'll just throw it up as high as he can because when he knows when you get in this jumping situation that Alvin Harper can jump higher than the other guys are going to jump. And when you have that kind of jumping, you can throw into coverage. Watch him get up in the air.
And he just did what you said. He jumped higher than anybody else.
You know, it'd be fun just to feel how it feels just to jump that high once.
I have no idea.
No, I don't either, but just to get up in the air. I was thinking that when I'm watching these basketball players.
Aikman headed over to the sideline. Dallas timeout. They have one left. It will be first and goal when they come back. 19-9, the Cowboys lead. You know, we went through the preseason, John, talking about the communication, the new microphone that comes from the press box, the coaches down to the quarterback. Aikman won't use it.
No, because it wouldn't fit in his helmet, and he said he was going to make an adjustment, but then he found out that Ernie Zampese didn't like it either, so they didn't use it.
So everything for them that doesn't come out of Troy's head is done by signal from the sideline. First and goal from the 2. Emmett Smith is busy. Cowboys signal touchdown.
Did you see Derek Kennard on that, the right guard? I mean, he pulled out, and when he got there, I mean, he brings a big old load with him. But when he got there, he really unloaded it. Watch him. You're going to see number 60. He's going to pull out here and lead. But watch when you see this. Now, that's one thing to get out here. Now, watch him turn up, and then boom, did he unload that thing. That was just enough to let Emmitt Smith get to the outside.
And get in the end zone.
And get that ball to break the plane.
Bonio for the extra point. Novacek holding. The extra point is good. And the Cowboys extend their lead. 26-9. Short, right stone, dragged down at about the 35 by Joe Fishback. 3:38 left. Dallas 26, Pittsburgh 9.
You notice that all the players have that patch, that NFL 75th anniversary on their left side.
Yep.
The officials, of course, have it on their right side. Last week and the week before, Troy Aikman tried to wear his on the right side, and he got fined for it.
Now he's got it on the left side, but he's got it down lower. O'Donnell to Yancey Bigpen.
Here, see, Emmitt Smith was on the left side. Troy Aikman was on the right side because he uses this part of his jersey to wipe the sweat off his face, so he didn't want it there. And they said, well, if he couldn't put it there, he'll put it on the left side, but look where he has it. He has it down lower than all the players, so he still has that top of it free to wipe the sweat off. And everyone else has theirs up higher. Isn't that something? I mean, you have to worry about patches and right side, left side, up, down, sweat coming off.
And you get fined?
Well, he got fined for that, and he also got fined for having too large a towel. And Troy Aikman is a real guy, you know, to have a dry football.
You had a visitor earlier.
Well, you know who that is. One of my all-time favorites was Dirt DiNardo. And that's Dirt DiNardo. He used to be the head groundskeeper here.
That's Dirt on the right.
Yeah, that's Dirt on the right. Yeah, and he's telling me stories about the old days and what it's like and what players are like today. He's retired now, but of all the places to go, Pittsburgh was never one of my favorites. But when I came here to Pittsburgh, Dirt DiNardo was one of my favorite guys. Retired groundskeeper of the Pittsburgh Steelers and a good friend of the late Art Rooney, who was also one of my favorites and one of the real
great man,
the real great men in this National Football League.
By the way, we've gotten word that Aikman did get a warning. He did not get fined by the NFL for wearing the patch on the right instead of on the left, and the towel being too much towel. Just a warning. First down, Steelers at the 44. Incomplete. Intended for Yancey. Big pen.
You know, they talk about this being three rivers. Here's the Monongahela. Wait a minute, let me do it here. There's the Monongahela, and here's the Allegheny. Now, where they meet right here is the Ohio. Now, what this is called right here, Pat, is a confluence. Where they meet, it's called a confluence. So you got the Allegheny, the Monongahela, the Ohio, and where the three of them come, there's a confluence of rivers, and that's why this is Three River Stadium.
Why can't they just meet without having a confluence?
Well, because you have to learn words like that, you know, and then you could just throw it around. You know, well, what happened was the confluence didn't work.
That was Jeffcoat taking O'Donnell down. That's 8 sacks by this Cowboy defense. Today's attendance over 61,000, third largest in history. Flag on the play. 2 flags on the play. 3 flags on the play.
You know, and that was one of the questions today, whether, you know, the Cowboys defense was going to be up to what it's been in the past and whether we're going to have a pass rush, and they sure had a pass rush today against Neil O'Donnell.
And the disruption caused by Haley, well, that just can't be, you can't talk about that too much. He just makes things of a disruptive nature happen.
And I think, you know, the Cowboys had 8 sacks today, and he was the guy who started it all. And I think he started it on that play, remember, back when it was that flea flicker, and he darn near intercepted the flea
Pass
flicker.
interference, number 86, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat the third down.
Pass interference called against Big Eric Green.
But, you know, the Cowboys are still going to be, to me, they're still the best team in the NFL. And they're going to be a pretty good defense. They're not going to be a dominant defense, but with that offense being so good, almost perfect, then it's easier to play defense on a team like that.
They're always going to be fresh.
Right, and the other team is always playing uphill like the Steelers were today.
O'Donnell back to throw it. Maybe. Knocked away. James Washington made the play on the ball. Yancey Thigpen, the intended receiver.
James Washington has just been sitting back there zeroing in on everything. Again, we talked about this before, how he said last night that, you know, that they throw inside so much. He said that's what we're going to play. They throw inside the numbers, and that's where we're going to play it.
Those 8 sacks by the Cowboy defense, that's the most since 1987.
And again, I think that, you know, a lot of it can be, you know, the defensive line. We talked about Charles Haley. I think the other thing you have to get is they had very good coverage. The secondary did an excellent job today for the Cowboys, and the linebackers played well, and then the offense just, kept the ball away from them.
You know, we said at the beginning of this broadcast, John, that we were going to see two of the best teams. Dallas certainly fits in that category. I'm not sure about Pittsburgh. But next week, a matchup that everybody's been anticipating a long time.
Well,
Kansas City and San Francisco.
They were thinking about that a year ago, because remember there was one time they thought maybe San Francisco and Kansas City would be in the Super Bowl.
O'Donnell taken down by Bill Bates.
And San Francisco opens up tomorrow night with the Raiders, and next week they play Kansas City, and of course that's Steve Young against Joe Montana, and people have been waiting a long time for that one. It's nice to see Bill Bates still in the league.
12 years.
Who would have thought when he came out of Tennessee and a free agent, and every year they were going to cut him, and he'll do anything. But this is what you call confluence on a quarterback. See, when three defenders meet at the quarterback, that's like Three River Stadium.
Chad Hennings was the other man, but Bates, they say he keeps getting faster and he keeps getting bigger. Here's the Moose.
Who Bill Bates keeps getting faster and bigger.
What they say.
I don't believe any one of those things.
Well, maybe.
He may be bigger.
They is he.
Yeah. But I'll guarantee you Bill Bates isn't faster. He probably is bigger because, he plays that dime linebacker a lot. He's playing more linebacker than defensive back, so he's more of a linebacker and special teams guy than he is a safety now.
He's always been a great guy under kicks. Second down. Moose again. Troy is going to turn him loose. That's a lot of carries for the Moose. That's about 5.
Big day for the Moose.
Great touchdown catch he made earlier. 2 minutes coming. Cowboys lead it. Used to spot submarines. And we found one. Moves again. Inside the 30, Darrell Johnson.
Well, when you look over in the Cowboy sideline and you see Emmitt Smith taking off his jersey and wearing a jacket and a baseball cap and his left arm in a sling, you can start keying on the Moose. I don't, the fact that he's shaking hands and saying hello is okay, but that arm being in a sling, he had shoulder surgery in the off season, and maybe it's just precautionary, but that's not a pretty sight.
No. 1:45 left to play. 26-9. The Cowboys lead. They just picked up a first down. Thank you. NFL on Fox.
Look at that. They got all first names and Mr. Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw
he played here.
And did some great things here. I mean, four Super Bowl rings. There's Barry Switzer. He thinks he can relax now and start waving and say, well, Jerry Jones, we got our first one.
NFL on Fox. Fox stands for full of excitement. Remember that bird we had at Soldier Field, Chicago? We got another one.
I think someone packed that one.
It's a Pittsburgh Penguin.
It looks like a Pittsburgh Penguin.
Walking kind of slow. Aikman will just run it out.
I tell you, the Cowboys were very impressive today, Pat. This is the 8th game in a row that we've done of the Cowboys, and we have yet to see them lose in those 8 games.
The last one we saw them lose was at RFK.
Yeah, I think when you have the Aikmans and the Smiths and the Irvins and the defense and a Charles Haley making a play for you like that, I think it's a fun group to coach.
It doesn't really matter who's in the booth, does it, when you have those people?
Well, maybe it doesn't matter who's on the sideline. It's who plays out there and gets in that huddle and makes those plays.
That usually works out that way. So the Cowboys win the opener in Pittsburgh. by their rather convincing score and performance, 26-9.
I think that focus on...
This is Pat Summerall saying so long from Three Rivers Stadium, where the final score was the Dallas Cowboys 26, the Pittsburgh Steelers 9. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League.
They come from